This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glynn Lavender.
Hi and welcome to episode 562 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com, and joining me once again from Melbourne, Victoria, it is Mr. Glynn Lavender from creativephotoworkshops.com.au, the phoenix of the photographic workshop world, risen from the ashes.
Huh?
Huh? What?
What? Speak up. Speak up.
How are you,
We're
mate?
not in Phoenix, mate. We're in Melbourne.
That's right.
I thought after all these years you'd know that.
You would think. How have you been?
And the Ashes, isn't that cricket?
That's right.
We're talking. This is a photography podcast. What are you talking cricket for? Oh my God, the man's delusional. I'd like to apologise, listener.
You've only just worked that out?
Oh, look, I just got a weekly report from my screen time just came up. My time was up, I don't know how, it was up 47% last week.
What?
Sorry, down 47%.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, here we go. No, it's just come to. No, your screen time was up 8%. That's better. For an average, this is my phone, for an average of 17 hours and 48 minutes a day.
Jeez. How do you do that?
17 hours, 48 a day. That's only up 8%. That's kind of,
Do you just walk around the house dragging an extension cord with you that's got a charger plugged into your phone?
Yeah, my very presence keeps it charged, dude. Just the static electricity from me.
I expected you to come back and say, well, the flaw in that argument is that I don't move around the house.
That too. Yeah, my feet are never on the floor. That's the flaw in that argument. Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. So what have you been up to in the last 3 weeks?
It's been 3 weeks.
I believe so. I think we were due last week.
I was wondering why you were messaging. Honestly, I thought we did one last week, and I was wondering why you were messaging me to do another one this week. Yeah. Surely it's only been a couple of days.
Feels like it.
Man's crazy.
Yeah.
I presented my dear wife with photos of the children for Mother's Day.
Nice.
No, for her birthday. Her birthday was May 6th, so that's a pain in the ass. She's hard enough to buy for.
Yeah.
Then she goes and has her birthday right near Mother's Day.
Yep.
I mean, what was she thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when she was over out with on a girls' night out, and I planned to take the kids out for a photo shoot to get some nice professional photos rather than just happy snappies.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. She was rather pleased. So it's nice to actually take some proper photos of the kids rather than just. Yeah. I said the snapperoonies, which you tend to do when your iPhone's around. I did some landscape photography.
Yes, I saw.
Strange, but the experience. So here, let me tell you a story, Bruce.
Yeah, this will be good.
I'll tell you. Probably not. But I'm going to tell it anyway because we've got no content, and this will help fill up a bit of space. You may have heard. Or possibly even seen on the interwebs. Yeah. There was a bit of an aurora over the weekend.
I had noticed.
Had you really?
There were a couple of instances of evidence of such.
Yeah, well, apparently. So the biggest solar event extended period of time since 1932.
What?
Yeah. So it's the longest, pretty much close to the longest recorded as far as keeping it at a peak activity for over a 24-hour period.
Wow. The
highest and longest since 1932.
Typical.
Why?
Because I was here and we had solid cloud cover and rain.
Oh, of course. Because I had people up in Townsville taking photos of it.
Wow.
Yeah. So actually, I've got a couple of funny stories. So it was the biggest aurora. It's certainly anyone
in living memory has ever seen.
Well, certainly in the digital age.
Yeah, right.
As far as where you could get information certainly in the age of the internet. The last sort of really big one was 1989, where it took out all of Quebec's electric system.
Wow.
Didn't have that effect this time around. In 1989, there was another big one in 2003. The 2003 one went technically slightly higher than this, as far as the amount of energy.
Oh, okay.
But not for its duration. So it gave people. I mean, I had photos from literally all over the world Not literally. Anywhere within a reasonable proximity, say 10,000 kilometres from the pole.
Yep.
For either North or South Pole.
Yeah.
And, I'd photos people in North London taking photos of that, in Florida, in all sorts of places where you just would never imagine. Thousands of those. So knowing this was coming, because I'm on a couple of Facebook groups for auroras, that the knowledge these people have is really quite remarkable, and they can give you a 1.5 hours advance notice of when it's going to hit, and when it's going to peak, and if it's dropped off, they can give you notice of how long it's going to be before the next peak, and also you can keep incredibly detailed track of what's happening to know whether it's time to go home or whether you should stay longer because it's going to get good, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I knew this was coming for a few days out, so I decided, maybe. Yeah, and it was going to be on a Saturday night. So let's take the kids out and see if we can see something. Because there was a chance it was going to be visible to the naked eye as opposed to the normal visible to camera.
Yeah.
So, long story, getting longer. A couple of days beforehand, my wife's been going through absolute hell at work. Absolute hell. Oh. And, just psychological warfare, basically, on her. Oh. And she's incredibly stressed. And she broke out in hives from stress. Really bad, and just her entire body just inflamed and rash everywhere and raised lumps and itchy like crazy and burning and just. And my wife, she gave birth naturally twice and didn't even go ow once.
Right.
My second kid broke her coccyx bone whilst being delivered. Didn't say a word.
Yikes.
This woman's crying in pain, so I know she's in pain. For her to exhibit, and she lives with me, she's used to pain, so she has a very high tolerance to pain, psychological and physical. Yeah. So that was pretty bad. That's like Thursday night. It kind of went down during the day and kind of flared up a bit again on middle of Friday. Then all Friday night, she was in just absolute agony. Almost let's call it ambulance agony.
Yeah, right.
But by Saturday morning, it had calm down, so it was kind of a watch and wait kind of thing, and she hadn't slept all night, so she kind of slept for most of Saturday. Come Saturday evening, towards early evening, it starts to flare up again. It's like, oh, no, I want to go out and shoot friggin' aurora. Honey, you're really starting to inconvenience me now. It was bad enough when you were in pain, but now I might be suffering. Now, as we know, when it comes to men, that takes the most important part of everything. So it was like, take some more antihistamine stuff, and just watch. And she goes, I think I'll be okay. And if we go down here to this particular spot. Well, she goes, where do you want to go? So if we go to this place called Campbell's Cove that I know of, that I did a workshop shoot years ago down there, like 12, 15 years ago down there. And it was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it'd be facing south over the water and stuff. And there's some like little boat ramps and some structure to have in your photo, not just sky. So I said, if we go there, then we're not too far away from Werribee Hospital. So if we have to do a dash, we could. So we drove down to this Campbell's Cove. And I said 10 to 15 years ago, and I'm sure I've talked about this in the past, 10 to 15 years ago, we were down this place doing this shoot with this model on a pier. And this huge guy, this guy who made me look small, and for those who don't know, I'm 6'2", about 230 pounds. And this guy, I don't know, he made me small, comes stomping up along these boat sheds with an axe handle over his shoulder.
Right.
And the guy's enormous. He's like Andre the Giant, not quite that big, but he was big. He was maybe 6'5" and 300 pounds. Axe handle, big bushy beard and like a bushman's hat on. He was a rough and tough type, And he comes and goes, "What are you doing?" And I told the group, "Stay here. I'll look after this, guys." And I went up to the guy and said, we're just taking some photos. We'll be gone soon, I promise you. It wasn't quite like that, but probably inside it wouldn't have been far off. I was just explaining. He goes, do you want to take some photos of me? And this guy was a great-looking character, so hells yes. So dumped the model, and we're shooting this guy with his axe handle leaning against these boat sheds and stuff, and
nice.
Got a couple of really cool shots of him. Yeah. And so I've always remembered this spot fondly. because of this,
Of course.
And there's probably 7 or 8 boat sheds down there, so it's a fairly decent sort of size area. So we go down there. Sure enough, we're driving in, and there's a dirt track to get into the area, and there's half a dozen cars already there, people lined up taking photos over the water. So we trundle past. I get to the boat shed area. There's no one there. This is the best part of the entire area. Not a soul.
Wow.
So this is weird. So we hop out, and the kids are there. They're all rugged up because it's blowing a gale.
Yeah.
And you can see the aurora to the naked eye straight up. As soon as you get out of the car, you can see it.
Nice.
Yeah. So glowing red in the sky. Probably at that stage it would have gone a third of the way up the sky.
Wow.
I'd say. And you couldn't quite see the green, but you could certainly see red at that stage. So anyhow, we trundled down and start. The first shot I take, I'm just guessing exposure. Yeah, so I did 2.8, 20 seconds, 400 ISO.
Yep.
Perfect, bang. So it didn't change exposure the entire night. I don't know if it could have been better or worse photos, because I didn't do one single setting change.
Nice.
So that's a typical non-landscape photographer approach to things. Oh, that looks all right. Surely it couldn't be better if I tried something different.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But who knows? What would a shorter shutter speed have looked like? What would a longer shutter? I don't know. After the first 10 or 15 shots are kind of the same thing, maybe, just maybe, try something different. So there's a tip for the episode. Don't just use one setting for an entire hour-long shoot. So we're taking the shoots up and down, and then you can start to. It goes up to about halfway up the sky.
You could almost say, let your fingers walk the arc.
Exactly. The arc. That's what we did there. Anyway, but you can see it pulsing, so it'd go up to halfway up the sky and then down. And at this stage, it would be probably half of horizon to horizon. So it was huge. It was a monstrous display. Yeah. And then you can start to see the green show up, and you can see a bit of sort of yellowish. And in the photos, you're getting like yellow, orange, magenta, a little bit of purple, green, almost like a rainbow effect at some point. So it was very cool. I mean, it was really, really cool.
Wow.
So I came home and processed a couple of photos. It didn't need a lot of work doing to them, but a little bit of contrast, that kind of stuff. And a couple of them had to kind of tone down the colour because they were a bit over the top.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of funny, which maybe a different shutter speed might have fixed. Who knows? So I get this message yesterday afternoon from someone who's been following me for ages, and a bit of a strange name, so I think it's a pseudonym kind of name.
Okay.
And she messaged, she goes, "Oh, look, my family used to own one of those boat sheds down there.
Oh, wow.
For 40 years. And I've got so many great family memories of going down there and boating and all this sort of stuff over all the years." And I was showing my dad the photos because it was his place. And he goes, "Oh, I reckon the guy'd sell some to me." Yeah, he wanted a couple of photos of memories because they don't own the boat sheds anymore. But, you want to. So they messaged me. I said, yeah. So I worked out a price for them for a couple of digital files, and we arranged it. And they sent the money through. I sent the files over. And I had a funny experience down there 10 or 15 years ago, and I explained the story about photographing this. She goes, "That's my dad." So this guy who I photographed like 15 years ago happened to see my photos on the internet of a person I don't know, and see that and wanted to buy them. And it turns out he's the guy I took the photos of, and it was like, what a bizarre experience, the way stuff links, Totally. And then the woman goes, "Oh, have you ever spoke at the Lal, which is a country area of Victoria, Lal Photographic Society?" I said, "Yeah, I did once years ago, and they were going to invite me back again, but there's a woman called Christina was supposed to get in touch with me and invite me." She goes, "Oh, I was out shooting Aurora with her last night." What the hell? She goes, "We'll invite you again, and Bill, who's the old guy, he wants to come along." And I said, "Great," because when I did that talk at this photographic society, across the road from where they meet is this old bluestone water tower that's hollow on the base where you can walk in, and it's the best natural light studio.
Yeah,
I said,
right.
"Good, bring Bill along, I'll photograph him again." So that's what we're going to do.
Awesome.
What a funny little...
Isn't it such a small world?
It is, the funny little links you can get in photography and connections and and stuff like that. So that was really kind of cool. I made some money, which was good, and never hurts. Had some fun with the kids. The wife, don't know what happened to her. Now she sort of settled down and didn't flare up any worse than that Friday night was like the peak.
Yeah.
So that's been good. Mind, she's gone back to work today, so the stress may come back. But her ears were swollen.
Oh.
Yeah, her ears like twice their normal size. Her face was swollen. It was
Wow.
crazy bad. Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure it's all stress. So
Jeez, that's not good.
So that's my photo adventure for the couple of days. But I have an audio thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah?
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the servers running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
My good buddy Ren, the songwriter, released a new song last week.
Oh, okay.
Excellent song. It's amazing. He sums up his whole journey of health issues all in one song, and great storytelling. But that's irregardless of that, because we know how much we love that. Mm-hmm. The song's called Troubles, and it samples a song from like the 1940s called Troubles So Hard.
Okay.
And it's basically, nobody knows my troubles but God is it. And the song was from a black woman who's, I think, the daughter or granddaughter of slaves.
Right.
And and he got permission to sample this track, and that's all irrelevant. What is irrelevant? He did this little YouTube clip saying, this is how I work to create sounds in my songs sometimes. Right. And he got this sample of Trouble So Hard from like the 1940s, and he put it through a synth to make to do something to affect the sound a little bit, make it a bit more electronic sounding.
I haven't heard it yet, but it sounds like what you are describing is what's called a vocoder.
Possibly, but what was really interesting though, he goes, then I put this filter on that chops out most of the sample and just leaves little tiny bits of it.
Right. Yep.
Right. And then he goes, so watch this. He presses this button and it literally chops out but it created this phenomenal beat.
Yep.
So this vocal track became electronic,
becomes the rhythm track,
and it became and it was almost like a little it was astounding how you can turn vocals into something. I mean, it creates a beat that you could use to create a song without having to know how to do beats.
Yep.
I was just blown away. The stuff that musicians, I guess, the vision, and why I'm talking about it, because it kind of relates to photography a little bit to me.
Okay.
In that, the way someone has a vision on how to do something with something and create something totally new.
Yeah.
So to even have the thought process that if I did this, then this, and this process, I get this end result, which is somewhat unpredictable or unexpected, or he might know exactly what he's going to get. But and I think that's a lot of what we do in photography is, the way we see the world and frame the world and expose the world. You've got to have that same kind of vision. There's a similar vision between the two things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find I get a lot of inspiration from photography in other areas.
Yeah.
In other
media.
Yeah, just how other people approach creative endeavour. Mm-hmm. I guess. Yeah. Is always fascinating. I'm not sure if we talked since last. I did a talk at a camera club the other week.
Okay.
That was.
Where was that one?
That was in Berwick. In Victoria, the Berwick Viewfinder. This was a lovely night out. It was a 2.5 hour drive to get there, which is a friggin' long time. And all bumper to bumper traffic the entire way. Yeah. So that's joyful. That's just simply joyful. But it's lovely. They shouted me a lovely dinner at the pub, which was good. Yeah, and a drink. Coke Zero. I'm going to be driving and I need to be talking. And I did my classic, my photos are and I don't know why I bother talk.
Right.
And here's an interesting thing. A little guy came up to me then, a little old guy. And camera clubs tend to have a fair amount of little old guys, you know. And this little old guy came up to me and he said, I just want to thank you for your talk. Because I'm never sure how this talk's going to go over, especially with camera club people, because it's not really talking about photography per se, but your own battle with being a creative and your own battle with your own inner negativity. And it's actually inspired by the song Hi Ren by Ren, funnily enough. So that's actually where the motivation came from. And when I do this talk, I wear a T-shirt with Hi Ren on the front, not the actual picture of the guy in the wheelchair.
Nice.
And so I'm never really sure how it's going to go over, because it's not talking about technique or critique or all that sort of things. And he came up and he goes, just want to thank you. He said, I've found over the last couple of years, I've really been focusing my photography on shooting for competitions rather than shooting for my own joy.
Yeah, right.
And I haven't been enjoying my photography for so long. And I think you just pointed out to me why. So I'm going to start shooting for me again.
Yeah.
And I said, well, good on you, little dog. If you can just do one thing like that for one person and made the talk worthwhile. But a whole bunch of these oldies come up and say, just brilliant,
Yeah.
And then another lady from a message, I can't remember if it was the same club or a different club, but seen the same talk, said, we've been talking at the board level, the committee level for the club, and we've decided that we're going to keep doing competitions because the members like it, but we're going to do one night every 2 months now, a section of the night where it's people get and just talk about their photo. It's no critique. It's no, I could have done this better. They say, I took this photo and this is why it's special to me, and actually talk about the art and the joy and the all the good stuff about why we take photos.
Nice.
Yeah. And the majority of my talk about my photos are, if the very act of going out and taking photos themselves isn't good enough, the photos never will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to have the joy of doing.
Yeah.
Because relying upon anything else is a fool's venture. Yeah. So I thought it was really nice, just changing that mindset of a club. And then bizarrely enough, having talked about that, came through just a little bit ago from David Duchemin, our good buddy Dave, 2 questions that will change the way you make photographs.
Right.
So he's asking 2 questions. And question 1 is, how do you want the image to feel, and what does that look like? So he says, if you're open to a quick exercise, answer these 2 questions for me. What do you love that conveys mood in an image? What makes your heart skip a beat? Many of the elements and choices that bring mood to an image are felt somewhat universally, but the ones we most like working with, the ones we most want to see in our images, are a matter of preference. I'd love to hear what those mood hooks are for you. My top 3 would have to be backlight. God, I love backlight. Point of view. Love point of view. And the mystery that shadows create. Oh, he had me at hello, Bruce. What are yours? You can drop these comments into my blog here. So maybe I'll put the link in for that as well.
Yeah, sure.
If there's people out there who don't follow David Duchemin, he's one of the few photographers in the world I follow. Not because I'm elitist or think I'm too good. I'm just too lazy to follow it. But I find always that everything he says resonates, and there's not a lot of people I can say that about.
Yeah.
If nothing else, go and read people's comments, just to see what people say. Why am I taking this photo? What am I trying to achieve? And I don't know, with the aurora stuff, it's pretty easy. I want reasonably interesting foreground, and I want some color in the sky. But there's nothing emotional about any of that for me, But when I photograph a person, it's about expression, it's about feeling, it's about the mystery of the whole crap about, oh, you want to photograph their soul, which you can't do, but you can. I went to my mother-in-law's yesterday for Mother's Day for my wife, and she wanted a photo of her and daughter together. Yeah. And the mother-in-law. Now I was being a bit cheeky, and she was giving me a bit of the look, and so. And she always has a fairly stern face in the photo anyway. So I started cracking the joke. And I said, don't give me that. Not that look. No, not that. And until she started to break up. And that's when I took the photo. Yeah. And the life and the joy that's in that photo is so much greater than, look at me, take the photo. Yeah. And so all of a sudden I feel something when I look at, I felt something about the experience of taking the photo. Yeah. Let alone just the experience of then seeing the end result, because that experience of taking it was joy, and then the end result reflects that. And I think that's what I want to try and get out of my photos. And I don't really care if other people like it or not,
Yeah.
It's just that. And the last thing I've been doing photographically this last, however long it's been, is trying to find a bloody model. I've got a photo shoot on Monday for a client. He's booked me for a one-on-one. And he wants a topless, tattooed, dark-skinned model with a bit of a character face, with a bit of, which I think that shouldn't be that hard to find.
Right, and we should specify male. Yeah,
male. Yeah, I've been looking everywhere to try and find. Could not find anyone at all. Modelling agencies, fitness groups.
Really? Wow,
everywhere. I know. I would have thought it would be lining up and having trouble trying to find which one to use. Then he goes, "Well, what about an elderly model?" Yeah, so. Again, couldn't find anyone for that. So ended up finding a quasi-okay looking Maori looking dude.
Right.
Hopefully going to be okay. But it's like, I couldn't believe it's the hardest struggle I've ever had to find a model.
Wow.
Very weird indeed.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here's a classic funny example. I'm being employed and the model's being employed and I'm employed for lighting and posing and all that sort of stuff. So he can take a photo to enter into a photo competition.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. And it's not the first time he's employed me. This guy flew me to Ayers Rock once to take photos for a photo competition.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but he's a lovely guy though. He's a lovely guy, and he just shoots with a point and shoot camera. So he's not like he's a photographer per se,
right? But
he just likes taking the odd shot and posting in his community and stuff. And very funny.
Wow.
So anyway, that's it. That's mate. And what have you been up to? Did I hear you did a photo shoot?
Yeah. So Kath found something on Facebook and she flicked it through to me, and it's a couple of photographers here in this area, in the Morisset, Cooranbong region, who are just getting started again. They used to run these workshops. Well, it's not really a workshop per se. It's more just like a shooting opportunity. Yeah. It's very similar to what I used to be doing.
So they get a Red Riding Hood in a forest and they get a bunch of people to come along and shoot it.
Oh no!
So everyone can get the Red Riding Hood shots.
Did you get those videos that I sent you? That I shot on my phone?
Yeah, I didn't look at them.
Oh, man, you should have a look at this space. You would freaking love it. So anyway, basically what they've got is this big space building that is separate from the house on a large block of land. And within this second building, they have got about 9 or 10 different decorated sets that are every one of them is a completely different look. Like there's a boudoir set.
Yeah, I know the type.
There's a
I know the
set.
type. Yeah, I know the type.
And and so basically they had organised this shoot, and
have they got the wooded forest set for the Red Riding Hood shots?
Not like my Red Riding Hood shots, no. But there was something that had some greenery. Red Riding Hood shots? There was some that had some greenery in there. Yeah, so anyway, so basically they had a handful of...
Did they have a graffiti wall?
Yep.
Yeah, of course it is. The rustic, crumbly wall, but painted wall kind of look, textured wall. Oh, they're letting themselves down.
There might have been.
I'm just trying to think what other cliches they could be using.
50s diner?
Of course, 50s diner.
Yep. The three-dimensional wooden cube that you can put a model inside.
Oh, of course.
And they've got an old, like a retro 50s Australian kitchen, which is still not fully decorated. They're in the process.
To put the little lady back where she belongs.
That's right. So there's a whole bunch of different sets. So
I'll go look at the videos. So Bruce, when you say I would love this place,
it sounds like you wouldn't.
Just on the quiet. So the Cliche Studios, is that what they're called? Did you say?
Okay, fine.
Instagram auroras.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I get the reasoning for these places, and I see lots of them down here in Melbourne as well.
See, that's the thing. I'd never seen a place like this.
Yeah. Look, in like Vietnam, there's actually entire like movie lot studio spaces where you can go in just to shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, where there's just every theme you can imagine over acres of space, where it's just different shooting scenarios. You know, it's fake streets, fake railway lines, everything.
Wow.
You know? And there's lots of those through Asia where it's an entire production system. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a bizarre, and so look, I can certainly get again. I understand the convenience of needing those spaces. It's just, I don't know, if you go to that location, or you're kind of taking lots of the same photos everyone else has taken.
Yeah.
And it's not, well, again, I don't even want to come across, I'm a snob, but I don't want to come across as it's not snobbery in people wanting to do Red Riding Hood shots. It's just like, and it goes back to exactly what we were just talking about before with David Isherman. Where's the nourishment of the soul?
Right.
For recreating images you've seen of others.
Right.
Shooting exactly the same theme you've seen. Oh, I've seen this theme 50 times on Instagram. I want to go shoot exactly the same type of thing. I don't know.
Okay.
And again, it could be just my mindset, but for me, I find it and look, I'm as guilty as anyone. I mean, my nuns with guns shoot in the past, nuns with machine guns resting on old cars. I mean, I get it. It's cliche, Bruce. I don't think I've ever seen a nuns with guns. But I know we've certainly done plenty of cliche stuff in the past. Yeah. And we all know that cliches become cliches because they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know everyone's on a different journey and different levels of experience, and you want to have some wins, so you want to go out and have an environment that's a lot easier set up for you. So I can certainly get lots of reasons why these places exist, and maybe I'm just at that point in my photography where I'm more wanting nourishment from the things that I do with it than the result.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yep. So being in that kind of environment wouldn't give me joy, so I wouldn't want to do it. That's probably the better way to say it.
Fair enough.
I think.
But I think, as you said 30 seconds ago, it does come down to each individual photographer and where they're at on their journey, because if you are just starting out, or you're like me, or maybe a mid-level photographer, then
you're a what? Sorry, Bruce.
Bugger off.
Oh, you can't set me up like that and not expect me to knock it down. Come on.
I don't know. I saw the thing that Kath sent through, and I thought, looks like it'd be a good opportunity to get some different looks and...
No, get some same looks.
Yeah, well, okay. Different looks within my catalogue of work. And I took along, a couple of softboxes and speed lights and, just tried to work with that, because I feel like that's a bit of a weak link for me, like knowing how to work with modifiers and off-camera flash. And that's
a great thing, just to the more you do it, the more
the better you get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I reckon, and the phrase "the better you get" to me more means not to say that you learn to light better, but you often learn to fix problems better.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that learn how to solve. Yeah, because I think when it comes to lighting, there's only X amount of styles of lighting,
sure,
and we tend to fall back on the style of lighting that we like the look of the most, which makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I like David Duchamp before saying he likes backlighting, which so we like a certain type of lighting, but solving the problems that lighting creates is where the most growth comes from most people. So the more you do it, the better you are at fixing or seeing those problems whilst you're shooting, rather than when you get home and looking at them on the computer.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So did you get some good photos?
One or two that I was happy with, and a lot that I was a bit like, nah.
For what reason? What's the nah?
I think it was just that the lighting I had wasn't working for me. It was probably angles, and you do feel a little under the pump in terms of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had, I think, about 7 or 8 photographers and about 7 or 8 models. So in theory, everyone should have been, able to be occupied all of the time, but you did kind of feel like there was a bit of pressure to get through a set or through working with one model and then move on to work with other models and
So
other
it
sets.
wasn't timed. You weren't said, okay, everyone's got 20 minutes per. It was just implied time to finish.
No, nothing was vocalized of you have to be through a set or finish working with a model in any given period. But I guess having run those types of events myself, I was very conscious of not hogging a model or hogging a set for too long. Because you're
too nice a guy.
Yeah, well, I guess. But I've had customers, in the past who've said to me after an event, I didn't really get enough time to do this or to do that. And so I guess I was conscious of that and not wanting to be the one that was holding things up. And
yeah, totally get that. And that's why these guys should have times per per setup. You got everyone's got 20 minutes per model or something like that, and a 5-minute break in between or whatever to freshen up, to have a drink, to move from location to location, all that kind of stuff. Because that way, people who do overstay their welcome in one spot have a known time they've got to move on. Yeah, and people like yourself who are worried about overstaying can relax a bit more because you're happier working within the structure of this is how long you've got. Yeah. So I completely see why you would feel the pressure and your images would suffer with that because you've got all these other things going on in your head. Yeah. And you settle for stuff. I won't bother fixing that because it'll take time. Yeah. And remembering, at the end of the day, let's say you have 20 minutes. You could set up for 15 of it and shoot for 5, and 5 minutes of shooting is a lot of photos. Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, but that's the pressure we feel all the time that we have to be shooting when we've got someone in front of us, not setting up. And I've always say that the longer you can take setting up and not shooting, the better your photos will be. Right. Yeah, the less photos you take, the more good ones you'll have. Right. It's exactly the opposite of what people expect there. If I take enough photos, there'll be some good ones. No. If you take a few photos but spend a lot of time getting everything right, then you only need one. Yeah. At the end of the day, and that's the thing you get from experience, from doing it, and that's what those places are good for. You get, and even being under that kind of perceived pressure is a good thing as well. It's all good learning. Yeah. Because next time you'll know. I think if anything, it gave me just a gentle reminder of how much I need to practice. Yeah. And do more of it, just to, get. There were silly things like coming home and looking at the images and going, this particular set, I've got no catch lights in the eyes anywhere. Oh, okay, just little things like that I should have. Where a centimetre here or there could have made all the difference. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Just little things like that. Like when I say, I shot a lot of crap. That's the kind of thing I mean. Like everything else about it was fine, but just those little nuances. Just paint something in Photoshop, dude. Serious. Yeah. Just a little dab a little bit of white paintbrush on the eye. Bang bang. Job done. Yeah, right. Give it a try because sometimes that's what you got to do. Yeah, right. Okay. Sometimes you just got to say, okay, I stuffed up, get a really small 100% opacity white paintbrush and just dab. Yeah, right. Okay. And you'll have catch lights. Okay. Yeah. Do it just for the experience of learning, just to say, okay, can I fake it, fix the problem? Yeah. Well, can I fix problems? I love everything about this shot except for this. We would easily clone out a stray hair without thinking two things about it. Yeah. We'd take out the pimple. We'd clean up all sorts of stuff without thinking, well, why is this any different? Yeah, true. Yeah. So give it a try. Just see if that is enough. This is interesting to see if that is enough to elevate the image. Yeah, right. Did those catch lights really make? Am I thinking, the catch lights are what's making me not like this so much? And now once something's in there, did it make the difference or not? Yeah, right. Interesting little experiment to do. Yeah. Awesome. And try and remember, and we'll talk about next episode and tell me what you thought.
Sure.
Awesome.
All right, mate.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we had to do a short episode. We did have things to talk about, but maybe we'll leave them for next episode.
Yeah, I hurt my back yesterday, so I don't really want to be sitting for too long, and I'm sort of nearing the limits now. So
yeah, and it's a Monday morning, and I got work stuff to do as well, and a kid to wake up, and so we pulled my kid out of school, my eldest kid out of school, and he's now doing homeschooling. I've got to get him out of bed at 10:07 and get him woken up and get him actually into school, or getting up to school work. So Dad's job's never done.
That's it.
You got to look after your back.
Yep.
Be good to yourself.
You look after yourself, and we'll talk in a couple of weeks.
All right. See you, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.